Hello, my name is Kendra Skinhelm, and this is my presentation on family culture. When it comes to roles in my family, there's a handful of them. When it comes to my dad, I would say he's the leader, the maintenance and management, and he makes a lot of decision making and gives me lots of life skills. My dad, I feel like when it comes to vacations and stuff, he's the one who makes the itinerary. He likes to do the driving. So I feel like he makes a lot of decisions, and I like to go to him for school stuff. When I said life skills, I feel like he helps me a lot with advice for what I should do, and he just helps me go in the right direction. My mom, I would say, is the peacemaker. A lot of times my mom is in the middle of my dad and my sister fighting, and she kind of always helps fill it out so there is peace. She fills a nurture role, and she's usually the person I go to for comfort. So if I'm sad, I go to her and talk to her about things. Both my parents growing up made the money for the family. Now that I'm old enough, I have a job, I pay for a lot of my stuff. So they still pay for the house and that kind of stuff, but I pay for my car and all that. But growing up, they paid for all that. They both work. So it's not just one person making the money, it's the both of them. But now I make my own money. And when it comes to my overall big family, with my aunts, my uncles, and my grandma, and my cousins, I would say my grandma's the peacemaker, because a lot of times my dad doesn't get along with his sisters and making plans, and they like to fight about who is doing what and when. So I'd say a lot of times my grandma is the one who gets in the middle of that and solves a lot of the problems. And when it comes to conflict, I would say it's either my sister in my family trying to do whatever she wants, or in my big family, I say it's my aunts and my uncles just trying to get their way. When it comes to roles changing over time, I would say so far it hasn't really changed that much. Both me and my sister still live in the house with my parents, so I feel like once we move out, the roles will definitely change. But I think the only role that has changed is who makes the money, and that's just because we've gotten older and we can make our own money now. I don't rely on my parents for money. They do pay some of my bills, but I have to pay most of them. And for when it comes to roles with my grandparents, I'd say it has changed a lot, because with my grandmas, they both are getting older, so their memory isn't as good, and they can't help out when it comes to that stuff anymore. With my family, I had a hard time thinking of family traditions, but I found some. For Christmas time, we like to hide the pickle. It's this little pickle ornament. It's about this big, and we have to hide it somewhere in the tree, and then when we find it, we get $1 or something. That was our Christmas tradition. We always get together for holidays and birthdays. My close family, with my dad and my mom and my sister, we open presents every Christmas, and we all like to do Black Friday shopping. When it comes to ancestry, my ancestors come mostly from Germany, I don't know much about Germany, but in a way, I feel like I have some kind of connection because we eat a lot of German foods, like brats, sauerkraut. There was this one dish my grandpa taught me growing up. It's called Steerum. It's not much. It's kind of like a pancake, but I know it's a German dish, so in a way, I feel like I still am connected to my ancestors a little bit. Also, the tradition of hiding the pickle is a German tradition. Didn't know that until I looked it up. My grandparents have always played an active role in my life. Both my grandpas have passed away, but I was always very close to them. They passed away within the past 5 years, and I've been still very close with my grandmas. They're still pretty sharp, so it's good that I can still have good conversations with them, and I see them a lot, so I'm thankful for that. I want to pass on these traditions. I don't know much about them, but hopefully I can learn more about my German ancestries and I can pass it on to my children, because I feel like it's good to know who their ancestors are. When it came to looking at surface culture, what stuck out to me when I was looking at the list was the food and games. Like I said earlier, we eat a lot of German foods. We like to try different things, and thankfully my family has a lot of good cooks in it, so we can try lots of things and they usually turn out good. And games, like I said, was hiding the pickle. That's a German tradition, and we do it every Christmas. When it comes to deep culture, what stuck out to me was social interactions and tone of voice. My family is a super social family, and when we get going in a group, our tone of voice, we get super loud. So I don't know if that's certain to German people, but we definitely are very social and we get kind of rowdy and loud. And that is all for my family culture presentation.